Last time on the Privateer.
I want to see his journey. I really want to see that dude get it.
Just a passenger, stiff as chips most of the way.
This is Adam. Adam was a privateer working a 9-to-5 job to finance his passion for racing bikes. Last year, parts and training helped him get way faster, but success doesn't happen overnight. This year, his program has been turned up to 11 with full factory support. Will he be able to break into the pro ranks? We're about to find out. Adam's race season has come and gone without a top 30 finish. Does that mean that his hopes of becoming a pro rider are finished? Remy Metailler has offered to share insight from his personal experience as a professional media athlete.
We are on Guranga, which is one of Squamish's double black. It's pretty known because Squamish Enduro was going. This was one of the stages, and the guy kind of lost control, and that gnarly crash, and I guess that made the trail even more famous. And it's really wet.
Yeah.
Can't really feel my hands, and it's not gonna bring anything to the video if I do it. It's basically a useless risk.
How do you decide whether it's worth taking a big risk like this or not?
Well, first of all, you look at the reward.
Yeah.
Are people gonna be impressed? Does that bring any value for my sponsor? Does that show that the product worked well? And obviously when I do stuff like that, I always think, is it valuable for sponsors?
Okay.
So a good example is I got 10th at Rampage, and I was like, whoa, actually I can start making good money with biking because I got 10th at Rampage, meaning that I have a spot for next year.
Right.
And when I came back from Rampage, the bike park was closed, and I really wanted to finish the video. So because the bike park was paying part of the video, they kept it open for me. So they basically, I had a bike patrol with me.
That's cool.
And I remember being, it was the end of the season, and I was like, I hadn't re-signed like any contracts really.
Really?
So I was like, if I have to take risk, it's right now.
Okay.
If I want to have like another video that's gonna get a lot of views and that's gonna show people what I can do in the bike park, that's gonna be this one.
That's awesome.
That was definitely worth it. Then I look at the risk. How far am I from the car? Like, does my phone have reception? Is there someone with me that can help me? I'm also thinking about the weather. Right now it's pouring rain. Is it smart to go and try something new for the first time? Like, definitely not. I really take my time. I really make sure that everything is in my favor to make it 100% successfully. I've never like rushed to do anything.
Very so I see you've done lots of racing in the past, but you've tried some World Cups, and how did they go for you?
That didn't work out for me. Well, there's different aspects. First of all, those guys are extremely fast, and also it's not something I didn't have any fun.
Fun.
I didn't have any fun on the bike, and I feel I ride well when I have fun.
Yeah, you see YouTubers, influencers, races, like the field's become a bit more diluted, where like everyone used to have to be a racer to make it professional, but now there's professional social media athletes. Like,
it's funny because everyone, before you had to be a racer, and then guys like Brett TP and Wet Simons showed up, and they made it by being free riders. And as you say, there's brand ambassadors, YouTubers. There's different way to make money in the bike industry without working a 9-to-5 job. I mean, all of those jobs are really hard. It's hard to be a free rider. You have to take lots of risk. It's hard to be a racer. Like, you have to be talented and you have to train really hard. You can be a YouTuber. Also, it must be a lot of work. You have to have good ideas. You have to be good at talking to the camera. You have to be decent at filming, and and you have to be talented like somehow to get people interested on your content. So it's obviously very different, but yeah, so I'll say that being a downhill racer or like a racer, cross country, downhill, enduro is not the only way to make it.
Whether you're a pro rider or a weekend warrior, we all benefit from the hard work and passion of trail builders. Adam has taken time out of the office to help the Squamish Off-Road Cycling Association with trail maintenance, and to learn about what goes into building and maintaining the vast network of trails in Squamish.
Yeah, what have we got here? Yeah, so we're rerouting some of the original trail. As you can see, it's a little bit blown out and has some water issues, I'd say. Put it lightly. Yeah. But for this section, we're going to do a full reroute and try and avoid all this pudding stone and water seeps, and yeah, make it a bit more rideable.
I like turns. So when I build a trail, I can normally picture me smashing a turn. I can normally see like a left, right, left, right, left, right. You kind of know how tight a turn will be and whether it will work or not. Do you guys take that into account when you're trail building, or do you have your head down trying to think about what will like drain best or what?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you have to factor in, like, first and foremost the shape and the flow of the trail. I mean, it takes walking the hillside so much. Like, we walked basically every square inch around this whole line just to try and figure out for a single reroute. So when you're putting together a whole trail top to bottom, you really need to walk the line a lot of different times, find the best terrain and try and keep with the character. I think it's about just really putting a lot of time and effort into planning it out, instead of just seeing a cool feature and then going for it, and then you see another cool feature and then go for it, and then the terrain just kind of goes like this. At least everybody's got their own styles, but I prefer to have something where you're not on the brakes very much. You're just kind of working the terrain like you would if you were basically just riding your bike through the forest. So I think being mindful about how you're building is just taking everything into consideration, whether it's line choice, whether it's longevity of the trail, whether it's drainage, just having a real long, thoughtful process about the whole endeavor.
There's nothing more satisfying than pulling a stump out.
Yeah, so for a place like Squamish that has so many trails, it kind of feels like public perception is that there's people out here maintaining all the time, but we're really only a crew of 5, so it's kind of like it's definitely a lot of work. So that's why we really like to have long-lasting trails, do a lot of rock work, and just kind of try and make things as burly as possible, because we get so much usership.
So have you ever made any mistakes trail building?
I'd say the biggest mistake that Scott and I made on Dark Crystal was just not anticipating how popular the trail was actually going to be. I mean, when we were up working on it, one day there was 10 riders, the next day there was 300, the next day there was 1,000. So, word spread like wildfire, and we just didn't really get time to put anything fully bedded in. And the sections that we left raw, a lot of them, they ended up being some of the gnarlier parts on the trail, which is fine, but we intended that trail to be kind of an easy black trail. So I'd say like the bigger things that we didn't really take into consideration were just how the terrain was going to change underneath the soil as much. I mean, that roots are going to pop out, but the easy line on one of the rock roll sections ended up being the hardest line out of that whole area. When you're walking a line and you can just kind of envision riding your bike through this beautiful patch of forest, it's really incredible to go out and be able to build and kind of make that dream a reality. And then once you get on your bike, you can, basically just have that vision realized. I'm sure a lot of people would do it for the notoriety, which is great, and it's really cool when you can, go back over the years and see the different styles that people have done. So, you know, you can always figure out like what was a Ted Tempany trail or what was like a Tim Haggerty trail, something like that, because everybody's got their own signature where they can express what they want. So I think it's more about being out in the forest, you know, providing something really good for the community and just something that you want to go out and ride with your friends.